There is no justice, there's just us. And the human rights violations we endure as a society are just increasing by the day. Our President Hage Geingob may not agree that corruption is systemic in our country, but as a population, we are rotten. Peaceful protests are met with violence by our law enforcement. You get jailed, and depending on your status in society, justice may or may not serve you in your favor. And we are all out here acting like life is just gully. On the 11th of July this year, a Rastafarian couple, Aldo and Tuli, were arrested and jailed for weeks, charged with possession and cultivation of cannabis in Swakopmund. The injustices that they and many others have endured on account of a plant made by the good Lord himself just goes to show how far gone we are as a society. Here's their story.
Usually when I come into the house, the gate is usually locked, but it was open, and when I came into the house, there was no one in the living room, and when I called out, my son came with tears in his eyes, and he was with my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old, and 3 men came just behind him, and of which I asked what was the matter, and they told me they are from the Namibian police, and they are here to search the house, but they didn't produce any search warrant or anything. So, and apparently they had been interrogating my son. From the way I saw his face, and the little ones as well were quite traumatized, because it was actually not just 3, it was 7 men that were in our yard, and you could see from the faces of the kids that they had been interrogating them for some time, and they had been walking up and down in our yard, and it was a traumatic experience, and it's something that really was not supposed to be, you know. And from me hearing from my son, apparently they didn't even wait for him to open the gate because it was locked when they got here. But they decided when he came in to come and fetch the key, they jumped into the yard. But he still opened the gate anyway, because there were like 7 men that were in the yard with him. And I find that it was not a good experience, you know, for kids to experience such a thing, you know. They should have made a point that they try and reach out to a bigger person, wait for a bigger person to come, and then have whatever questions they had to ask. But anyway, when I came, they had a lot of questions to ask me, of which I answered, and still they were rough, you know. And at the time I was pregnant, of which I still am, and they were quite rough, and they didn't worry what I said or what I did. They were just looking. Apparently somebody had told them that there was ganja in the house, and that's what they came to look for, so I should show them where it is. And I was like, no, there's no need for me to do that, you know, because I felt like they, first of all, didn't even have a search warrant, you know, to come and search our house. And we are Rasta people. We use herb for healing, you know, not only ourselves but other people as well. It's a healing for us, and we don't see it as a drug as other people see it, you know. So for them to come and make us feel like criminals, it's a very bad thing. And one of them actually said, yeah, it's like I'm well trained because the way I was so calm. I mean, I don't do anything wrong. There's no crime that I'm doing that I should feel like I should fear them, you know. And that's what they wanted. So they ended up arresting me at the end of the day, because they felt, when they found out that I'm from South Africa, they felt like I'm the one that brings ganja into Namibia or something, because later 2 other police came with my husband and they had already arrested him. And my husband showed them where everything was, where the ganja was, and told them that my wife has nothing to do with it. But they still insisted, and I even showed them my clinic card that I'm a high-risk pregnancy, but they still took me in. They didn't bother about that. They didn't bother that I was leaving kids behind, and for the fact that I was pregnant, they still took me in. And I sat at the police station for from about 7 o'clock in the evening till about 12 o'clock at night, midnight, before they even, and I was sitting on a chair as a pregnant lady, and it was cold there. And after that, they took me to Narraville, Walvis Bay police station, because they don't have any women's cells in Swakopmund, so they took me there. And they kept me from Friday. I appeared at court. I didn't appear even at court. On the Monday I was supposed to appear in court, but then there was a robbery at the court, so there was no court in process at that time. So they had to take me back. I stayed at the Swakopmund police station for the whole day, the Monday. Then later on, the buggy that had brought me to Swakopmund had to take me back because I couldn't appear at court. But then again, my relatives searched for a lawyer, which helped out, and that's how I got to appear in court the following Friday. And I was given a bail of 5,000 rand, and the police officers, they from the drug squad, they didn't write any, they didn't write any statement on the day of the arrest, but only a day after they came to Narraville. And they came during the day while I was having a nap, and I was woken up, and I went to the front of the police station to go and fill in the statement, to go and sign the statement. And I refused to sign it because I felt that the charges that they have given me of dealing and cultivating were not, it was injustice, because they didn't find me dealing, they didn't find me cultivating. They did find plants at our house, but my husband had told them that everything that they found at the house belongs to him, but they still insisted and took me while I'm pregnant. So the police officers had ordered that I should come to the front of the police station in Narraville so that I can sign the statement, which was written. My charges apparently were dealing and cultivating. That's what they told me, and that's what they had already written on the paper, which they didn't find me dealing or cultivating. But they wrote that and when I refused to sign it, what they told me was, yeah, your husband has already signed, so you should do the same, otherwise you will stay in there for the longest of times. If you don't sign, then you won't appear in court. And it was the first time that I had gotten arrested. So I don't know what happens. I just got scared when they told me that if I don't sign, then I will stay longer. So I decided, okay, let me sign just to keep the peace, of which I did. And then the Friday, I appeared in court, and they gave me a $5,000 bail due to my condition of being pregnant as well.
What's up, everybody? This is Script, and you can catch me on 99 FM from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Now, we'll be taking a look at the latest in sports on the warm-up session. One-on-one conversations with the movers and the shakers on game changes, and then we'll also decode your favorite songs on 99 FM as we read between the lines. So join me, Script, on 99 FM, your inspiration station.
There's no price like the ShopRite price, which means you'll get low prices on everything you need. Like 4 kilos real good frozen mixed chicken portions for only $154.99 and a 2 kilo bag of nice parboiled rice for just $26.99. The ShopRite price, the price you can trust, always.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., You can stay true to Namibia sounds with a Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Tuli's husband Aldo Timbo shares his experiences on the day he got arrested following a march he took part in for legalization of marijuana.
Okay, wake up 11th June. Feel a bit tense around me, you know. Can remember clearly we had a march to the prison service and to the governor office for the same unjust of how Rastafari people are treated within Namibia. Being an activist of cannabis, they always find us in the forefront, you know, defending, fighting for the right for adult use of cannabis within the country, and most and foremost for the medicinal use of it. Because though I'm a Rasta, I support medical marijuana 110%. More than I could want legalization for recreational ganja or so, because as it is already, cannabis is already regulated. People are smoking daily. Take us to prison. In prison it's worse, as I went and learned now in the Namibian prison society. Can find more lucrative drugs and more devious and cunning, you know, good cop and bad cop around, you know. But you find from the higher ranky, the lower ranky, police society is corrupt. Drug squad is a fraud. Them goal is to raise funds for their own pockets. We all know that the drug squad work for some dealers and work against most dealers if they blame us and they label us in that way, because they charge us with cultivation and drug dealing. Yet in my account they found no money. They found no money in my possession. They found no trap money on me. There was none of them who was disguised to buy cannabis from me, but yet they choose to charge me this because I stand up as an activist and talk for my right. When they arrested me on the 11th of June, the whole march through I knew I would be arrested that same day. Because when I looked at police, I know we would have a contact for a long time. Yet they say everything happened for a reason. I've got called while I'm in my shop by police to come over to Mondesa taxi rank. And they wanted to hand me a puzzle. Because I went there and I found nobody, so I told the person to give me a lift, let's drive. A minute from there, people rush me with gun in the hand while I'm unarmed. Got pointed with gun, told to hold with no charges made against me. I asked them, now why you point an unarmed citizen with a gun? Drop the gun and ask, like, where did we point you? I said, oh, sir, I wouldn't ask you if you point me. Got arrested and rushed to the police station. Next thing I know, we are at my house. Police want to know if there's cannabis in the house. I said, yes, I have cannabis on me because I'm a chronic disease, man. I use cannabis for my healing. So I have a cannabis on me. I have cannabis there, I have cannabis here, I've got plants there. And they were surprised that I'm so cooperative. No hassle was given. They took everything. We went down to the police station. When I got to the police station, to my surprise, there was no lights. Just to find out that these things got taken to another dealer. They go deal with it further because it's supposed to be brought there and charged in and booked on my case. But my case was just...
That you had lights here or what?
Yeah, I was arrested for cultivation. So I was cultivating.
Again, I was arrested for?
I was arrested for cultivation. I was arrested with trees in pots, cannabis, of 1 kg of cannabis, dried weight cannabis, and 8 trees, lights and fence. When I get at the police station, I only got charged for cannabis. No lights, no fence. But my charge is dealing and cultivating. So where is the proof of cultivation if there is only cannabis without no dealing proof as well? So when I ask these questions, when they put an amount, because by law, if a substance is illegal, you can't put a price tag on it because it's illegal. We don't deal in it, so we can't price it. To my surprise, I learned that the Namibian police are dealing in cannabis because why the drug squad tell me they charge $50 per gram. I asked them, how do you come to that conclusion? Because for us now, who on the black market buy the cannabis to make our oil and to use it for healing and for our sacramental use, we know that we pay way less than what they charge per gram. So this is the questions that come to raise between me and the drug squad. How could they have price tag on something illegal? Okay, I've got arrested, got charged, eventually brought to a cell. First in a little holding cell for the night, 2-3 days with 4 people in that cell. None of us tested, none of us knowing of our corona status, just shoved in there. I'm in there, locked up. Monday arise, dockets got stolen at court. No one can go to court. A paper arise. My case is postponed to the 29th of July. I'm like, what? The judge didn't see me. They don't know who they're dealing with. How you just postpone the case without bail? A non-violent case for just a sacramental use. So come to learn that Rastafari culture in Namibia is not wanted. The use of cannabis in Namibia is not wanted. While I'm in prison there for cannabis, all there for a plant, people came with crack cocaine charges. They get taken to court, get 2,000 rand bail immediately by the same drug squad that arrested me for cannabis. I was never charged for 48 hours. After 3 days, I got charged by Mr. Bierkes. I decided not to give any statement, but to give my statements in court, because I'm only liable to be found guilty by court, not by the people that arrested me or brought me to charges. So that charge was taken, I signed. The next morning, at about 2-3 o'clock, the people that arrest me of the drug squad, Zulu and his squad, arrive again, Zuma and his squad. When Zuma and his squad arrive, Zuma again opened another docket for me, which I didn't read what is written in the docket. I never was shown what I'm signing for, but yet just got told, if I don't sign, I won't see court. So that's my mission, to see court. Without argument, I give a signature. Yet to learn that in this docket, they have put up difficulties for my case, claiming that they are investigating what? I don't know, they find everything.
Pep brings you big summer savings with women's dresses just $89.99 and girls' dresses from $54.99. Babies' dresses are only $32.99. Hot summer, cool savings, cuter dresses. Now everyone can pep up their summer. Life's better with Pep.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia Sounds with a Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Oranjemund, established in 1936, from which point onwards CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oranjemund, which is no longer a closed town.
This ship was commandeered by King Jao III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors, because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
We really have to wonder who government serves when human beings are treated in such inhumane ways, from those living in squatter camps to those who are incarcerated. Both Thuli and Aldo are baffled by the justice system in this country.
The same people that arrest me arrest people for crack cocaine 2 times. Same thing, 2,000 rand bail for the same charges. What I don't understand is the Namibian government supporting the crack cocaine, or the drug squad, should I say? Because most of the time, the lawyers, the judges, and those people don't really know what's happening and conspiring between the time we got arrested and brought to court. They just come see our dockets, and upon the dockets, they sentence us without investigating themselves. So in this time, I would want the drug squad and police to be scrutinized and be put under investigation. Because the things I go talk about now is not things that is really pleasant for the Namibian government, society, which is there to protect and serve us in this country, is up to on a daily basis. We find now, in our time of growing, we know the thugs were on the street and they were gangsters. Now we find them in suits and ties and uniforms like the Ku Klux Klan, fighting for our freedom from our own brothers and sisters. The oppressor have become the oppressor now. So we're fighting for freedom from our own oppressors. The own SWAPO government that's supposed to serve and protect us is busy with devious things. I was surprised to find that in Swakopmund police station holding cell, there are no plates, no brooms, no cups for tea, no spoons for inmates. There's nothing, nothing. There's so much budget's been made for police and them. But what is being done with the money? I've been there, gas ran out more than 3 times. It takes 3-4 days for them to fill it. Where does the money go to? Become like a big store where you hold people. Why don't you leave us in our little places where we behold and let us come to court, and if it is a criminal case you want us to be. But now you put us in prison to try kill us slowly, or are you trying to get justice? Because if it was justice that the Namibian system is after, they would test every inmate that they bring in, because they know that it's Corona, it's the COVID time. They want the country and the people of Namibia to take COVID so serious, but yet the lawmakers and the enforcers of the law don't do that. Prisoners were just brought and thrown into a cell. Doesn't matter where you come from now, if you have it or not. 5 cases arose from all those cases. Police couldn't move inmates because some of these inmates are gang affiliated. And they threatened police, because recently we know that police got stabbed by inmates and they have that fear. So police are being ruled and controlled to carry contraband into prison, cell phone into prison, all the luxuries of outside. The police same time give it back to the criminals inside. So I don't know what the law reform is trying to change, while we know we've got the crooks now in uniform. So before people is concerned about cannabis now, they should first be concerned about the society at whole, at large, how they want to go forward to govern us as a people. Because the way the police chief and head of staff is devaluing and lowering themselves to invite inmates for a fist fight. If he should be the head of police, we understand that he should be trained in handling and controlling such kind of things. If the police are the worst now, they should rehabilitate inmates. How would inmates change? How would you control crime? How would you bring a change? That's why you come on petty crimes like cannabis, Rastafarian community, because we're non-violent people. So you have to fight us because of one thing, our use of sacrament, cannabis. But yet now, because it have changed now, no more alcohol advertisements. So we go see how it will work out. If the president, the police, and the lawmakers and the judges who partake in alcohol is going to be happy, because it's going to go from the stopping of advertisement towards stringent upon alcohol, because it's the most detrimental cause in Namibia right now upon our roads, amongst our youths. Statistically, we are known as the #1 alcohol place because of why? We are a small people, a nation within the population, and then 99.9% of us use alcohol. So we will reach statistic heights. But if we learn to give freedom to all people, like you give freedom to others, to give a chance to legalize marijuana. Right about now, when I got arrested, we have these meetings with Mr. Hakekenkop, that he come around town hall, town council meetings. And then I stood up and talked as an activist, and he said he need proof. We were busy with proof. Proof got taken. How can we give proof if it's still not relaxed a bit for us to can show up with the proof? If we don't get even a trial margin, how can we bring up proof?
So when I arrived at the cells in Narraville, it was not a good experience. It's cold. You sleep on the floor. You get given this very thin mattress. But the thing is, the cell was already full. There were like already 9 people inside the cell, and it's a very small room. There were already 9 people, and there was no place for me to even sleep. So when I got in there, it was at midnight, and the ladies were all sleeping. And when I got in there, they woke. One of them woke another one up, and it was like, yeah, there's a lady that just